So we got to talk about Vince McMahon and Oliver Luck. Oliver Luck, who is a stand-up individual in the world of sports. Most people have a great opinion of him as a sports administrator. And of course, he raised Andrew Luck, who is one of the all-time nice guys in all of football. And one of the dudes that people love coming out of Stanford and love watching play for the Indianapolis Colts. They just couldn't protect him. Oliver Luck becomes the XFL commissioner for Vince McMahon's new revamped XFL, taking a 100-degree, 80-degree pivot from what it once was. And then pandemic happens, and then we get news of layoffs, and then news that there will be no more XFL, and we see the bankruptcy filing, and we see the creditors listed are most of the head coaches, right? Including $1 million that is still owed to one Robert Anthony Stoops. But watching how Oliver Luck was actually treated has been the most important part of this for me, because he was the face of the XFL. He was not just the commissioner, he was the dude doing all the talking. Didn't he see or hear from Vince McMahon. And so when we find out that Oliver Luck is going to sue Vince McMahon, I can't wait to read what they submit in the suit filed April 21st in Connecticut court, federal court, because Vince McMahon's WWE and Alpha Entertainment are in Stamford, Connecticut, for those of you that don't know, right? I've also taken a great interest in professional wrestling here the last few weeks, because guess what? I got time to watch Raw. I got time to watch Next. I got time to watch AEW. It was fantastic last night. I love the soapy storylines. I love the athleticism, and I love the theater of it all. It's a lot of fun. Now, Luck lists reasons for his suit that include gross neglect of the job once the coronavirus began. According to McMahon, Luck effectively abandoned his responsibilities beginning March 13th by relocating from the XFL offices in Stamford, Connecticut to his home in Indiana, and failing to devote substantially all of his business time to his XFL duties as required by the contract, right? Goes on to say that Oliver Luck signed Antonio Callaway, yes, that Antonio Callaway, out of Florida and Cleveland, to a deal without McMahon's approval, and then refusing to release him when McMahon ordered Luck to do so. McMahon had said publicly that he did not want to sign players with problematic backgrounds. And then finally, my favorite of these grievances, personal use of an XFL issued phone, an allegation that was not mentioned in the original termination letter. The phone is being forensically examined to determine the extent of Luck's personal use, according to McMahon's filing, right? McMahon publicly hired Oliver Luck in May 2018 to be the face. Of course, Luck was getting a 5-year contract that called $5 million annually with a $2 million bonus. So he's being substantially compensated for his work. And then April 9th, we get the declaration of bankruptcy from one Vince McMahon. Couple of things that I really want to touch on here. And the first one is Vince McMahon is doing what he has always done, which is maneuver, which is try to find the best way for his company to continue to go, and everybody else can get cut off if that's what it takes. He's also very, very, very into the image of his business, right? So much so that if you look at the WWE roster, find a nickname that says Killer. You have lots of face paint, you have lots of witchcraft type leanings, like with Bray Wyatt and The Fiend, but you won't find these things that have him putting up with people that, one, don't fit the image that he wants, two, are going to represent a part of the culture that he doesn't think reaches the mainstream, and three, anybody that doesn't want to work, he ain't going to force you to work, he's just going to find somebody else to do it. As a matter of fact, he stripped the Intercontinental title from one of his wrestlers last night. It's going to go into a tournament on SmackDown because dude said, I don't feel comfortable going to work, right? And Vince McMahon said, cool, you don't have to feel comfortable going to work, but, I got to take the belt because we got to have the belt in our promotions. We got to have the belt going in the company, for which, they're on cable television 3 times a week, and they got a pay-per-view event every month. I get that, because he's not voiding the contract, right? He's not saying that homeboy can't work or can't even collect a check. He's just saying, you can't have the belt because I need the belt for the script. I need the belt for the storyline. I think that is actually on the kinder side of what Vince McMahon is capable of, because you have a lot of people that bought into what the XFL was going to be that quite simply have given up on it and had to find other jobs, right? Folks that I knew by name, folks that I had actually worked with, folks that had been a part of the Big 12, folks that had worked for the Dallas Cowboys and that are just out of work all of a sudden like many of us at this time, but it's very unfortunate, but also it's even more unfortunate that McMahon is trying to come up with ways not to pay Oliver Luck, who is really doing the most work when we're talking about getting across to us, the public, and to advertisers what the XFL was going to be, because he spent the first 6 months just telling everybody what it wasn't going to be. And they were very, very clear about Vince McMahon owns the league. Yes, he's over there somewhere, though. We don't see him. We don't talk to him. Yes, if we have to have a come to Jesus meeting, he will be at the head of the table. But that said, Oliver Luck, you talk to me. That's who's putting this stuff together. That's who Bob Stoops was buying into. That's who June Jones was buying into. That's who the franchises were buying into when they were deciding to lease out these stadium arenas and whatnot and renovate them and come up with these jerseys and the designs. Matter of fact, my jersey, I'm glad that I ordered. Right? I'm glad that came in the mail, because now it's a collector's item in a way that, the He Hate Me jersey is as well. I don't understand why you're getting upset about Antonio Callaway, except to say the dude smoked some weed, and yeah, he was going to be suspended in the NFL, but the way that we view weed today is kind of like the way we view gambling. If it ain't hurting nobody, then what are we doing saying that the man can't just go ahead and have him a little joint? Even so much so that the Players Association put into the CBA, and the CBA exhaust, hey, look, we're not going to penalize you for legally using marijuana, right? It's getting into that place of profanity, which is, we'd rather not hear it, but we're not going to penalize you for using it, right? I'm not necessarily thinking that Oliver Luck is completely in the right here, but I do understand wanting to get your money. I do understand wanting to hold somebody to your contract. And it seems like Vince McMahon is trying to get out of paying the contract.